Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to Midfield 1.
This is Walsh.
How we doing, bud?
4-0 today, baby.
Fucking easy.
Fucking easy game. 4-0.
Sometimes
just a walk in
everything
the
just
park.
comes together, and yeah. I mean, is he sacked in the morning or what?
Has he been sacked since we last talked an hour ago?
I don't think so, because everyone's asleep over there.
It's the middle of the night.
But he's got to be sacked in the morning, right? I mean,
what are they going to do? They're going to caretake for a couple games? Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. They could have sacked months ago. They just kind of trudge along, and this is Manchester United Football Club kind of way. I just don't know, like, the back room, how much upheaval and how uncomfortable or like how difficult it is to manage. You know, their season's over. They can win 0 points from the rest of the games, and it's whatever. But
it changes nothing.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with them in the summer, I guess.
We'll see. We
got
a tie in the
Palace,
cup,
man. Jesus Christ!
Before Palace Jizz Fest, we got a tie in the cup. Somehow a tie in the Elite
8 teams left.
8 teams left. Everyone scored over 100 points this week,
there's
a fucking tie. Yeah, 4 matchups, and there's a fucking tie.
All right, what
108 to 108.
Say Coach Nowitzki.
It's not Coach Nowitzki.
Okay.
I just want to confirm what Sharson Cup leader told us, that I think they have identical teams. Yeah, they have identical starting 11s.
And same cap.
And same cap.
Literally identical teams.
Literally identical. They have 14 out of 15 of the same players, except one guy has Slab and one guy has Dallo. So they must be robots.
Is it the same person? Are they just
not
two
the same person.
Scandos from different parts of Norway?
No. It's a Canadian and a Pole, it looks like. What flag is this? I don't know.
If it's white and red,
actually.
It's a fraudulent.
It's white and red, but it's the other side.
Oh my God.
Left side white.
Snip, snap. Qatar.
Oh, it's Malta.
I'm Maltese. He's pandering.
I think he's faking it. Yeah.
He's pandering. All right. I see you.
So team 1 is Vinsanity FC. Straightforward. Right. Name is Vince. He's Vinsanity. Second name is Sadio Penmane.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Awful names. The E has the accent aigu, so it's supposed to be Sadio Mane, but before Mane, there's the word pen.
I really don't like that.
He's never even taken a pen in his fucking life.
I like that. I dislike both of these names a lot, for the record.
Terrible names.
Both terrible. The second one is way worse than the first one.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But it's got nothing. Sadio, unless we're missing something.
I think this is what I think we should do. Let's eliminate both of them and put Coach Nowitzki in their place.
Let me see. Oh, Coach Nowitzki finally lost. Okay.
Yeah.
He's out.
No,
dude, what the fuck is that?
The Mane or Penmane, whatever. Fucking get that guy out of the thing.
He's done.
You're out of the competition.
Congrats, Vince Alvarez, Vinsanity FC. Terrible name, but you're
Is it like Vince Carter?
Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, he's Canadian. It's Vince. Canadian Vince.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Even though it's
gotta be Vince Carter. Yeah. And his name is Vince.
Wait, Vinsanity. All right. You know, I don't dislike it that much.
It's not the worst name we've ever seen.
It's not good.
No. But it's not the worst.
It's not the worst. This other one might be the worst.
Penmane is one of the worst.
Yeah, it's one of the worst.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I'm Googling it. It means nothing. Get the fuck out of the cup. You're
what you deserve.
So, dude.
Yeah, you're cut.
Final 4. Oh, shit. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So we got that out of the way. How'd your team do this week? Well, aside from Palace, your fantasy team.
It was quite the weekend for Team Walsh over here. I mean,
tell me more.
Like Saturday,
sad like, with a D. Sad.
Yeah, like I'm going into the City game with all my Arsenal cleans and Isak's adventurous 7-pointer, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like none of my guys have played. Like the few guys I've had all got points. I'm in good shape here.
Still have Kev. Still have Gvard. It's all.
I'm
good.
Like, all right, I'm fine here, and then Haaland just puts up 50 points. I'm like, I'm in danger, like, this is bad. And then it was not that bad.
And
everyone got points. My team's so good. I'm fucking plugged into the matrix, and I got a green arrow without owning Haaland.
103 points. Doesn't even own Haaland.
That's insane, dude.
The auto sub.
Well,
can we talk about the auto sub?
Let's talk about the auto sub.
Bury Son, banish him to the fucking shadow realm. Last on my bench, piece of shit.
Yep.
Diaz never gonna play. You were just bench wanking Diaz anyway.
Yep.
And in comes Munoz
from the top row.
Hall.
Is that Munoz's music I hear?
Hall.
Look, Son needed a message sent. And I sent it to him very loudly by putting him last on the bench. Yeah. And it was a +6. We take those.
Oh, my God. So
my God. It's just
so you're up 11K. You're at 73K overall. Team's still
and
great.
Also, dude,
your climb is just historic.
Mo could not have scored less points, and he got 13 points. It was unbelievable, the amount of points that he was
Captain
dodging.
Palmer. They both dodged 1 billion points. 1 billion.
Lot of dodging of points,
which brings me to my team. I scored 100. So I feel like everyone scored between 95 and 110 or some shit. Even though like most people Captain Haaland, I didn't see many like 150s, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I own Haaland. I Captain Palmer. Fucking should have had +2 assists. I don't know. Whatever. Don't want to get into regs. Easy regs 8-pointer. No problem. Gaffer.
Yeah, and he got a card too. He's that
card
good.
And max points. That's how good he is.
That's
he's
how
just
good
incredible.
He is. Yeah.
And then I saved and my zeros all got 0 on the bench, and my starters all got points, so we're fine. And then I'm going to a bench boost week with 2 frees, and I'm going to make like at least 5 transfers. So
yeah.
That's basically where we're at.
Yeah,
feeling okay. Yeah, I got a little green too. I might end the season okay. We'll see.
I mean, you should with bench boost, right?
Yeah, you say that, but I'm going to be on a -16, so,
Well, I mean, we don't need to get
how good's it going to go? You know what's funny in hindsight?
-8. You'll be on a -8.
Free hit 34 obviously went so well for everyone who free hit. But actually, free hit 34 was the bait because we should have all just hit in 3 Palace players and killed them for the end of the season. Because no one owns more than 1 of Mateta, Elise, Eze. No, well, you have Munoz,
yeah.
But like, no one owns Eze, Elise. Like, some people are on Mateta, some people are on like Munoz. But like, fucking another mega haul from Elise, just absolute destruction. I don't know who they play next week, but they're probably gonna haul again. They're away Wolves. That's a beach game. They're home Villa in 38. That's probably a beach game. Like, they're all just great picks.
Yeah, I mean, Eze was definitely off it today. He had a couple of really nice...
weird.
Yeah. His final third box play was horrendous. He had a few really like typical middle third, progressive, all the things he typically does. But I mean, we're 4 wins and a draw in the last 5, with the one draw being that at Fulham game when we were, really tired from the double kind of thing. And I mean, we've been talking about it. I've been banging the drum for us. I mean, we've been playing out of our skin and we look amazing. And Elise it's tough. Like, it's really difficult.
So good.
Yeah. I mean, it's just really difficult to analyze. Like, the play, he has 13 returns in 1,000 minutes. I mean, you're looking at best pick in the game status from him.
Most points per start in the entire league in FPL has been all season. He just didn't have enough minutes to like qualify before.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure no pens, right?
No pens. Yeah.
He has more points than fucking Palmer, Haaland, Mo, who are the next 3. And no pens. He just fucking hauls. That's all.
Doesn't need him. Yeah.
Doesn't need him.
So, I think that, at Wolves could be a little bit,
Okay, I'm still, one pen.
Yeah. Oh, you mean he drew a pen?
No, he took one pen.
Elise?
It was just so long ago that no one remembers. Yeah, it was
remember that
December 16th against Man City. Yeah, Eze was probably not in the squad.
On the pitch,
I'm sure.
And Mateta probably was on the bench.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm still reluctant to, kind of crown because we've been seeing so much of this at home. Like our 3 really good performances are home Western, home Newcastle, home Man United. The Fulham game was the tired game. So, and when we played your team and won 1-0, I mean, we were just countering and parked. So that was nothing. Yeah. So like, what do we look like at Wolves? It'll be an interesting game to watch. I think it'll be an interesting kind of test. But I mean, at the moment, we are irresistible and unplayable. I mean, it looks crazy. Just watching us play, we look like a top 6 team. Yeah.
It's awesome. Exciting for next year. Really exciting.
And then, home Villa the last day is, they probably won't have anything to play for, and they also look threadbare. So the squad right now.
That's a fucking that could 4-goal game again, honestly.
It should be. It should be a high-scoring game.
For those who don't remember, when both teams have nothing to play for, traditionally those are the highest scoring games statistically. There's no May updates for the leagues because, the game today, it's not updated, whatever. But April mug winners, I never said because, again, the long game week last week. So Einar Fadnez, a.k.a. Shane Long Gahey Boy.
See, that's a name.
That's just the most.
I mean, you got a lot. At least a lot's going on.
Yeah, lots going on. A lot of references. First place by him. Second place, MB, aka Bozo, did the dub. Don't hate the name. And third place, Wolfgang Jones, aka Unemployed 11. Don't hate the name.
Great name. Yeah, I mean, take notes.
And that's why they're winning mugs. They may not be winning the cup, but they're winning mugs. So good job by you guys. I'll DM everyone for shipping details. Yeah, very soon.
But I'm not done talking about Palace. Dude, Munoz
go back to
needs
Palace.
A separate episode.
Well, you can do an hour on him on the postmortem, maybe.
I mean, he's not only out of position, but he's playing striker for a half an hour.
Yeah, he makes striker runs every game at different points. Yeah,
like the one goal, it was like the rebound goal. He was right behind Mitchell. Mitchell goal.
That's classic him. That's like his
he's always
thing
behind
now.
the guy.
He's right behind the guy.
Insane. He's done. This is like the 3rd time in the last month that's been the case. But he also, I mean, it was in stoppage time and everyone made 5 subs and he's running into the box. He almost scored on the Edward play. Like there were multiple plays in 9, like between 85 and the end of the game that he's just like,
and he gets a throw-in assist.
Throw-in assist.
Easy.
And the second assist, it's just he's at the byline, winning the ball back. Like he just
winning the ball, giving it to one of the great players.
He's a monster. He's a monster. So he's an absolute monster.
It's one of the unfortunate things about the season being basically done is that like you get a team like this playing this well right now. It's like, fuck, I wish there were 10 more game weeks so I could triple on Palace, and just like start them every week. It's like very few opportunities to actually get points from the players.
Yeah, and then the summer and all the things. And
exactly. Then, who stays, who goes.
All right, I'll stop with Palace.
It's okay.
Now.
It's okay.
We can talk about other things.
What do you want to talk about?
If we have to.
I mean, it's a double game week, so we got naturally a lot of double game week questions. I'm bench boosting.
I need a lot of help too this week.
Seem like they're bench boosting. Yeah, I mean, should I just do questions or talk about each team or?
I don't want to go through every team. I think I definitely want to get into the midfield a little bit.
Let's go midfield.
There are a few different names, but I wanted to talk about Haaland a little bit more, honestly.
Okay, yeah. You start with Haaland.
We have 2 years running, right? He is strictly a flat track bully at home.
Yep.
Right? Like that's all he is. And he's
for the Hawks.
Yeah, and he's just a medium pick for the other 25 games.
Something like that, yeah.
Is that like we're looking at the home bottom 10 games are the games, and then all the other games are just like he might get a return, and then the top 6 games he just doesn't play.
Yeah. So his
like, do we have this
hauls
pegged
this
here?
year are away Burnley, which, if there's promoted sides are almost in like a separate category probably, especially this season of promoted sides. Home Fulham, that ding. Away Man United. Man United are also in like a different category.
Yeah, they're
like
a bottom
5
team.
defense.
Well, they're a bottom 4 defense all year.
Bottom easily.
Yeah.
Away Chelsea, which doesn't qualify for what we're talking about.
And that was the mad game where they were just like, let's do the thing, and they just were up and down basketball game.
4-4, crazy.
Remember,
game.
They just let it. They didn't play any defense, and they were just space and.
Yeah, and then other than those, it's home Everton, home Luton, home Wolves. Those are all the double digits.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I can't be fucked, as my pod partner would say, to look up like how many of those games are just like he got a pen and one other return.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, yeah, I mean, it certainly has been the case this year. I don't remember that well last year, but
I
kind of remember at the end of the season talking about it. Yeah,
because we were looking back at, where are his points coming from? And they were all the home bankers. That was the only place he was getting big games.
I think that was post-mortem. We were kind of talking about like captaincy shit. And we were like, for the first half of the season, we captain Haaland, you just cap him every week, every single game. Doesn't matter. And then second half, we were both like not capping him and doing well. And everyone else was still just like default cap. And really, he wasn't hauling unless it was, a home banker.
Yeah.
Home Wolves last year, hat trick.
Yeah.
Home Leicester brace. Home Arsenal, but that was kind of like a crazy game too.
Yeah.
But like that, not many hauls second half of the season. But first part of last season, it was home Palace hat trick, home Forest hat trick, home Man United hat trick. That was like in the first 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Just something to keep in mind, looking at the fixtures in game week 1, if you want to do the diddles and play around with some alternative things, like it's looking also at the beginning of the season, right? I mean, the at Burnley is one where it's just Burnley and it was open and whatever, but they had home Fulham game week 4 and then they had at Sheffield. I mean, when you're looking at Burnley, Sheffield, home Fulham, 3 of the first 4, you're kind of stuck there.
You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice.
But if the fixture, like game week, look at their game fixtures, like game week 7 to 12. If it's like at Wolves, at Arsenal, home Brighton, at United, home Bournemouth, like if there's a run like that, you could look at that.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
Yeah.
And I think people listening will be like, yeah, but he scored 16 against Chelsea. He can score 16 any game. But I think the point you're trying to make is that a lot of strikers score a lot of goals and points, right? So like,
and Dot scored 16 today.
And Dot scores 16 regularly. He's just an elite striker. So like, you just need to find someone else who has a really good run. And if that doesn't exist, maybe you just hold Haaland. But if someone else has an insane run for like 7 game weeks, then like, at least this year and last year, you would have come ahead in those moments. Then I mean,
Haaland.
Just continuing on though, like, right, he had the home Everton 13-pointer, then, home Chelsea, home Brentford, away Bournemouth, home Man United, away Liverpool, home Arsenal, home Villa didn't play, at Palace, didn't get another double-digit haul until home Luton. Yeah. And that's just like a bad fucking run.
Yeah.
And he was in the media, he's a fucking League 2 player, whatever, nonsense, stupid ass shit. Obviously, he's so good, but where he gets his hauls is where he gets his hauls.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, he's going to be the most expensive player in the game next year again.
100%.
But I feel like it's, the community echo chamber of, you only pick 14 players. It's Haaland plus 14 is, I believe you can scrutinize that a little bit closer and, you can pick and choose, when to own him because you have such an advantage if you're not putting, 14% or ish of your budget on one player when, maybe there's a tougher run or you're not going to cap or whatever it is. So I don't know, just something I was just, I was just thinking about it again because I was looking, I was just like, oh my God, 20. home Wolves, and then I'm just like, of course, fucking home Wolves, and GON on the beach with 10-year-old strikers and like no team.
Exactly.
And I'm just thinking like, oh yeah, well, fucking it's just whatever.
And pens. I mean,
pens. You got 2 pens. It's pretty good.
James was like saying,
as long as
like,
you're not Isak.
Yeah, well, Isak. There was and Pedro also must have been. James was saying like,
definitely.
oh, like I'm sure Darwin would have scored 4 goals in the same game, and I was just like, my very level-headed response was just like, players brace all the time. If you get given 2 free goals, like you just need a brace, and that's 4 goals. Like I don't know what else to say. Like the first one wasn't even a fucking pen, and as soon as that happened, it's just game over. Same with the Kai one in the Arsenal game, wasn't even a fucking pen. As soon as that's given, it's game over. Then there were no pens given in other games. Just blatant
Your team's
pens.
game.
Liverpool
the Gakpo
game,
foul was obscene.
The fucking
the handball
stamps McNeil.
Yep.
That's just all this fucking shit. It's just like, oh God. Pens just drive me absolutely fucking crazy.
Yeah. Pens. All right, so let's look at some midfielders, because I think midfield's the biggest difficulty this week. There are so many double game week midfielders, and there are so few spots to choose from.
Yeah, so let me read some questions, because we've got some of this. Well, I memean, these 2 are kind of like really specific, weird questions. So let me not read these. But Jeff said, free hit 37 midfield's tough to pick. Great. Yeah. Free hit is tough to pick. Who are your top guys? So he's free hitting. Burleyson has said, is Rodri a safe city pick, or is he a specific kind of a game pick? If so, which are the games that he shines? And then Jow said Bruno might be hurt. Who are the replacements we should consider for the double outside of the obvious? Foden, Kevin, Palmer, Son, Gordon. So are those just the obvious guys that everyone should have? Who are the other guys? Also, I want to say Bruno's probably fine. Like I completely expect him to play 180 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, he just was pooping and he didn't want to go get 4-0 away from home. He wanted to just stay in Manchester. He wanted
to pretend that.
Yeah. I don't know. This is too the obvious guys, whatever. But let's just stick with Bruno. Like, I have Bruno, right?
Yeah.
The team looks like they don't and can't do anything at all, period. Is this just like, this is a 4-pointer and it's a disaster? Or is it just like you're stuck? Or how do you see that,
I don't see it that way. I think he's still a completely fine pick. I mean, aforementioned pens can happen, complete random luck if it does, so that could just be an instant haul in either game. I still think Newcastle's defense is pretty bad, especially on the road.
Back four they played this weekend was hilarious.
Complete joke and very open stylistically. And then I mean, listen, we shit on Bruno all the time, but he's a fucking great player.
Yeah.
Like you watch the game today, the Palace game, and obviously it was just couldn't have been more one-sided. It was a complete joke of a game, but also Mount is fucking a trash can. Like Mount was trying to like do Bruno's role, and it makes you see how good Bruno is. Like that game does not go the exact same way if Bruno's playing, because he works so hard, he wins the ball, he's so good at passing the ball. Long balls out to Garnacho, long balls out to Anthony, long balls out to Haaland to relieve the pressure, beat the press, play over the press.
Yeah.
Like they're a very different team with him, I think.
Yeah. I guess my bigger question is like, we have these few games to go, and you had like the stench around the Ten Hag decrepit team is so smelly that it's like, when does that overwhelm? Like, and it's, I mean, honestly, almost similar to like with Son, where it's just like, look, I mean, both these teams went down 4-0 this weekend, and one team completely fell apart and laid down, and the other team fought back, which, I guess that's more manager than team and personnel. But
but also like Liverpool just made a lot of subs and made mistakes and so,
dramatically. Well, so did we. I mean, we put Riedewald on, and he didn't. Let's not get it twisted there. But I mean, Son was also just horrendous.
Completely
He
anonymous.
didn't do anything for 45 minutes, and then he just got some like bumbling ball fell to his feet and he scored. But it's the same thing with him, right? He can't beat anyone. He can't take anyone on. Yeah. He marks himself out of the game. He's so easy to defend, and everything he does gets blocked. Where it's like, I'm looking at Son too, and look, we know they're 2 home games and one's against Burnley, and also he looks terrible. Like, I don't expect him to get points in any game based on what I'm seeing, but I feel like similar where I'm just like, if I'm free hitting, I'm not putting him in my team, but I feel like trapped because they're like Sheffield, gaming 38, Burnley, like the City game's going to get hidden, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably making a mountain out of a molehill though, right?
I mean, no, I hear you. I think that it's really easy, especially after bad performances, mostly talking about Spurs here, multiple bad performances, to just be like, I want to cleanse myself from this disgusting mess. And then Man United today, you feel similarly. I do think the Bruno situation is very different because he's been playing incredibly.
Yeah, he's been playing incredibly. Yeah.
And like, again, like you weakened yourself. You brought in fucking Riedewald and Edouard and Jayu and all these shitters. But like, that's when maybe Bruno returns, right? Like,
sure.
Bruno would have been running like a maniac for the last 30 minutes of the game, and they probably would have got 1 back or 2 back or something like that. Instead, they bring on fucking
some 5-year-old
Wheatley.
It's Wheatley's team
Amrabat now. And Diallo. It's like, what
who should have gotten a red card?
Yeah,
Amrabat. Holy shit.
But so I think it's a different category. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Son.
Where you at on Son? You're fine with Son.
I'm fine with Son. I mean,
he didn't get subbed. He was playing, trying.
Didn't get subbed.
Blah, blah, blah,
I think.
Blah, blah.
I also don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, we mentioned that like Liverpool weakened themselves and then Spurs had chances, but not a coincidence that Richarlison came on, got their best chance of the game, and assisted Son's chance. Like I think he drastically changes the attack, and I also think Burnley are fucking awful and need really to win. Bad. And honestly, home City, I expect Spurs to score also because that's what City do, Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, Sheffield afterwards just makes it even better. But I mean,
so you're hodl, Son.
Yeah, for sure. Like for us, for sure. But if I was on free hit, is where it would get maybe interesting. Like I'm fresh off going like no Saka, no Mo when both were doubling in free hit 34. And maybe if I was on free hit, I would get that experimental because they're like not in form. But
I
mean,
well, let's come on to
No, I was just going to say, I mean, like, obviously Palmer's 1,000,000%. You can't touch him. I think Foden and Kev, like, if I'm free hitting, really hard to not have them. And then, like, you're looking at Gordon, Bruno.
Gordon's interesting here,
right?
Gordon,
like, Bruno, Son, and, like, a complete punt on anyone else, right?
Because that's the thing is, like, you're...
That's the
but
group.
you have... Yeah, but like you're stacking these guys, I mean, where does Gordon come out in the Bruno Son sweepstakes or the pecking order? Like they're home Brighton and at Man United. I mean, honestly, Brighton look fine. Like they look okay.
Surprisingly, signs of life. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they aren't scoring, but they're controlling games and doing like the Brighton thing where they're not letting up these enormous chances as you would think they would be because everyone's injured everywhere. But I mean, it's still a home game at St. James. Like, you expect them to win. Then at Man United is probably going to just be...
It's a fucking banker fixture.
Yeah.
It's an incredible fixture.
It should be goals. And then they have at Brentford, gimmick 38, when they're going to just probably be, doing all the things. I mean, I imagine goals in that game.
Yeah.
And
the thing
Newcastle
with Brighton
are playing
also,
the best of the 3 teams where I'm just like, I feel like at this stage of proceedings, that has more weight than in game week 8 or something.
No, I agree. I think Gordon, you can safely put ahead of Bruno and Son. I really do. I think,
I'm with you. I agree.
With how good they look, and he's been pretty much great all season, and, he's on corners and all this. Sure, he doesn't have pens, but like, also the thing with Brighton that you mentioned is like, right, they play well, they control the ball, they do all this shit. Their Achilles heel all season has just been on the counter.
Yeah.
And that's Newcastle's strength. Just Gordon, Isak running behind. And then, Man United needs no no more words. They're just like the worst fucking
the worst
team of all time.
defense, non-promoted defense in the league. Yeah.
It's just historic what they're doing. And so I put Gordon ahead. I do put Gordon ahead of them.
I mean, the wrinkle is with the Callum stuff, but that's more Isak related than Gordon. But I mean, it does kind of trickle down a little bit to Gordon because, he does so much of his good work on the left, and that's where Isak goes. Like it gets a little bit fuzzy a little bit there, right? But
also, well, I do wonder if, like, is there a world where you're 3-5-2? Like, are you 100% three forwards? No, sorry. FPL team, like an FPL free hit team. Like, are you?
Yeah. No, because, I think you are definitely 3-5-2.
So you're just full avoiding Isak Callum, you think?
Because you're putting N dot ahead of them?
Dude, N dot is the most nailed of all of them. N dot's a fucking god. You're talking about Newcastle are playing well. Dude, Chelsea are actually good.
Yeah,
Chelsea
they have
turned a corner.
No, they have. It's just been chaos and space and all the things.
They're actually showing signs for the first time all year.
Yeah,
they're showing signs
true.
that, like,
that's true.
Poch might be the guy, and they might actually be.
Poch isn't the guy.
Well, they're showing signs that he might be.
Yeah.
And they're, picking up steam. They've been good for a little while here.
Look, I'm a big detractor and pessimist on the Chelsea things. And, 2 home games against 2 teams that are one on the beach and one hasn't functioned for months is not going to get my dick hard.
Okay.
But ultimately, the spacing is better. He's using, he's sticking with the same attack in spite of himself. And we
Madueke is
in spite of himself because there's no one else available, so he can't fuck the team as he has been doing all season.
Maybe Razor and Cuckoo comes in for Mudryk, but that's strictly a positive. So don't worry about that.
I mean, but between Gallagher and Caicedo and the defense, like, playing a little bit higher, and they're just it's just more space, more chaos, and they're getting some good last ditch stuff going on, and they're again, I think they're just catching teams at a good time, which is why they've looked better recently more than them playing well. Like, I feel like if they put these performances in that they have the last couple against an actual good team, it's Arsenal 5, Chelsea 0, which happened literally 3 weeks ago.
It did happen, but they really weren't that bad in that game.
It was 5-0, dude.
No, I know. It fell apart, which is classic Chelsea. But for the first half, I mean, they were maybe better team for the first half.
Ultimately, we only have a couple games left. So this is going to be more of a post-mortem, look at the Game Week 1 fixtures, see the pricing, and see, like, what are we doing with Chelsea next year? But, I mean, 2 away games, neither are going to be walks in the park. Home Bournemouth should be just a fucking banter game. I mean,
38,
which is going to be one for next week because there are a lot of Game Week 38 games that look like there can just be 7 goals in them. And that's
also, you just reminded me because of that comment. Also, the amount of rest, it varies a lot in these teams. So Spurs, City, and Man United all only have 2 days in between their doubles. Sure. But then Spurs and City have 4 days before Game Week 38. Man United only have 3 days before Game Week 38. So Chelsea, Brighton, Newcastle have a much more advantageous extra day off rest between their double games and still 3 days off before Game Week 38. So
better.
If there's any, like, not nailed spuddening or, like, not nailed, I mean, who's nailed on City, or, like, not nailed Man United guy punt that you like sketch with 2 days off for sure.
Yeah, for sure. The Chelsea stuff. Yeah, I mean, and he keeps getting lumped in with Darwin, right? Which I'm sure you love. But he has improved dramatically as the seasons progress, and we have to give him credit.
Honestly, I think he's been good all season. So I can't agree because I've been all season banging the drum of, like, he's just good, and I have no problem with him.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't agreed with that. I mean,
I know.
He got dropped for some periods of time, and, he was getting yellow cards every game for 3 months. He has 9 yellow cards. He's a striker. He's never attempted a tackle. Yeah. I don't think I've seen him.
It's all dissent. It's all dissent. Yeah.
So, I mean, you saw him very much, I think, in my view, getting used to the pace and the power and what the game's like here with what the defenders look like. I mean, you're not in fucking the Iberian Peninsula anymore. And the last like 3 months, he's just, I think, just taking a step forward. And, he's an interesting one for next year too, because we don't know.
His price will be weird.
Yeah, his price will be weird. Maybe it's going to be an 8.75, maybe something like that. I mean, it could be 7. It's also going to be tough to say because, Nkunku, he's the best player on the team. Maybe Palmer's accepted, but
yeah, Nkunku's the literal superstar that they bought to build the entire team around.
Yeah, and he's played 10 minutes.
Minutes.
Call him Thiago Alcantara. He hasn't played all year.
It's so funny too because they just stumbled on Palmer. I mean, maybe they had some fucking scout who was like, he's the best player in the world. You have to get him, but basically, Nkunku was supposed to be the number 10 behind the striker.
Yeah,
and now
very different players.
Very different.
Yeah.
But now they just like all of a sudden, if Nkunku's fit, they have like 2 godly playmakers behind Ndot going into next season. It's just like kind of crazy.
And it's, Ndot, my concern with him is I just, don't know what he's going to be able to do against like a low block. We just haven't really seen that this year because all of his joy is really just starting runs, bending runs at the halfway line, really just countering. And, is he, if Chelsea do keep improving and, getting a lot more respect from the enemy, how many games in the 38 is that going to be a viable tactic other than like against the top 4? And, all of a sudden where this year, maybe you had 12 games that were in that kind of vein. Next year, it might be like 5, where you have to like very specific timing fixtures of like, oh, we caught, Wolves at a good time, or, we caught Everton at a good time kind of thing.
Yeah. Or like like I can't think of an example this season, but there's always the team that's like a game state team. It's like, they scored 1 in the 7th minute and then they scored 5. And then like the next game, they just, the dam never breaks and they can't get a good chance or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
you're Ndot big time on this.
I just think he's been good all season. Like, eye test, underlying numbers, obviously like the finishing, whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me much because that shit comes around. But you're looking at his season. He's only played 2,500 minutes because of AFCON and shit, and he had a little injury. He's the same number of non-penalty goals as Mo. He's more than Palmer, more than Kai. More than fucking Saka. 3 more than Saka.
Well, Saka's a winger. Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? It's like, there's all these players that people are just like, these are like the best picks in the game. And Ndot just has more.
Hey?
In less
and
minutes.
We've been profiting.
Oh my God, profiting. Yeah.
Yeah,
great
big
pick.
time. Dude, 16 this week? Fucking
great
let's
pick.
Go, baby.
Great pick. That last finish, too, is clean.
Clean and class.
West Ham, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, he's not Mateta, but he's good enough.
Yeah. What Mateta, 1 shot, 1 goal is like the Mateta special. He just like gets a banger, takes no other shots.
I mean, this is another episode, but he's actually unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
He is. I mean, you can't like look at this run he's on right now. I mean, he's scored fucking like 10 goals in the last like 12 game weeks or whatever, and he looks like he just eats and he holds up like a fucking monster, and all he wants to do is back heel. He just back heels all the time. Oh my
God, he's so
all
French.
He does is
I feel like
heel.
That's French for some reason. Just that like flair, cockiness. It's just like Jean-Philippe, stop back heeling. He's like making notes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just me. It's partially just a hot finishing run, but the hold up and the flicking and all that shit that's not hot finishing. That's just him like playing with a swagger, that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's obviously having a hot finishing run, but I mean, his underlyings are also good. I mean, ultimately to me with him it's difficult because he has this really consistent run of starting for a while since Glasner came a little bit before, but we haven't had Eze and Eze on the pitch with him in all these minutes, like very far from it.
Crazy.
When they're all on the pitch, though, it's nonstop. Like his understanding with them is ridiculous, and their creativity and the way that
someone
we link,
to read his back heels.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can't read the flick, you can't play with Jean-Philippe.
I mean, Jai is like, I just wanted to fucking like.
He's like, I was trying to draw a foul. Yeah, Mateta's like, no, I fucking passed to you. You kicked the ball.
Yeah. It's all about. I just keep coming back to Palace. You can't.
I know we're all over the place, but we should be because it's a fucking end of the season. And
tell me more about Madueke.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
what's he up to? There's a player in there.
Yeah, like I don't know if he's for where Chelsea's aspirations are. I don't know if he's like, oh, we have our winger solved. You know, like this is the guy. Like I don't think so. Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. But for now, I feel like Palmer hasn't had someone on that right side to play with all season. And all of a sudden he has this guy who's just like a great outlet, a great dribbler. I mean, he loves a shot. He seems to be a good finisher. And I feel like it enhances the team. Obviously enhances the team because he's just contributing in a lot of ways. But it also enhances Palmer and just the whole attack because he's playing these 1-2s. Again, he's moving the ball constantly into like the final third.
He takes everyone on too. They double him. He just still fucking blows them by.
Non-stop take-ons, dribbling machine.
Yeah.
And yeah, like moving the ball machine also. So they have this outlet now who it used to kind of like just be Ndot as the outlet. And now they have two and you know, everything's clicking. Yeah.
It works a lot better. I think it's an odd thing just trying to imagine what they look like moving forward where
it's hard.
You know, if Nkunku's going to be fit with Palmer, but Palmer wants to be in a lot of the same areas as Madueke. Like, if they're playing Madueke, is Palmer going to just be playing more like 8-ish or just like kind of floaty? Like, because he wants to be on that final third right wing, drifting in kind of thing. But I don't know. I mean, maybe he's
Madueke
be more
can play on the left. We don't know that. We don't know. But it's possible, you know, in theory. But I mean, it's
how
a
it's all
fun
gonna fit.
They have a fun squad, you know, going into next year. Just don't look at the defense, but like the rest of the squad is really fun for Poch to try and figure out and get the most out of
defense.
But yeah, he's a pick. I mean, you know, I think Chelsea are good, and he's a pick. But yeah, the fixtures are not the best. If you were to like rank the fixtures for the doubling teams, it's certainly not the best to go at NFO when they fucking need points fighting for their lives, at Brighton, who are like maybe picking up a little bit of steam.
Yeah. Okay.
But wait, so
what else we got?
We went to Ndot because I was saying like he's auto in the team, but you know, Espen asked Callum Wilson ? And Harley Boy said, is there a reason everybody shouldn't be on both Isak and Callum?
It's a good question, man.
Well, I think the reason to not have both means you don't have one of Haaland or Ndot, which I think is bad. But
yeah, I mean, you're punting if you're doing that. But how do you see the Calluming for the next three?
I mean, he's done it before, and he's probably gonna play. What would you say? What would you put his like mins at? I would say like probably 100. Yeah, between 100 and 120. So it's like it's not bad because every fucking minute he's on the pitch, it seems like he's going to score. And he's obviously on pens now after that Isak pen. So that's another positive. But
should have been before, but yeah.
Should have been before, obviously. But yeah, I mean, he's good, but I'd rather get, 180 of Ndot and, obviously Haaland. If you're playing for points, you should have Haaland. So that's not a discussion.
It's a punt.
It's a punt, but it's a good punt because it really has an extremely high ceiling, which not all punts do. Like he could score 18
He could have a
points.
first half hat trick in either of the games kind of
thing. Absolutely. They're two great fixtures. So, I like that. Good punt.
Yeah.
Okay. What else are we talking about? Oh, Man City. So Pickaxe said, I'm late to the party on my third City spot. Is it Foden or Kev? And then X50 said, just pick 3 City players for the double.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I need to figure this one out too because I have Diash who is going.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
former best center back in the world.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's tough with Foden, I think, because, we're talking, like, is Foden ahead of Gordon? I'm like, because I also feel like Foden's done so much of his best work when Haaland isn't playing.
When
Haaland
Kev
plays, when Haaland and Kev play, I mean, he just kind of plays on the wing. He does all the peripheral shit where he's just not, he doesn't have to do the thing, right?
I think my scars are like a little too deep in that regard, though, because I got rid of him for this exact reason. And again, like, to remind people, he hit a run of being not that good a pick. So, like, good job by me. The only thing is it was bookended by 2 hat tricks. So, bad job by me, actually, because he got 2 20-pointers. So I'm just scared more than anything. But yeah, I mean, if you're ranking them, like, is he ahead of Gordon? 2 days off, away Fulham, away Spurs? Like, no, I don't think so. I think I would put Gordon ahead of him.
Yeah.
Like, if you're free hitting.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that I said earlier about traditionally the games where it doesn't matter for both teams are higher scoring, also the inverse is true. When a team has something very important to play for, it's lower scoring. City, 2 days off, foot off the break when the 2-0 lead.
They're going to
do that all the time.
And yeah, for sure. Yeah, interesting. All right. That's an interesting one.
So what's your final answer? Best 3 City picks?
Well, I mean,
Haaland,
I think
for sure.
I think Haaland's an obvious. Gvard at this moment looks like he's inevitable. Like, everything is coming up Gvard these days. You don't want to, like, this is like the Almiron from last year. You don't want to bet against that.
Yeah, betting it's the hottest pick in the game.
Yeah. I mean, he's like drawing pens. He's a fucking center back.
And it wasn't. I basically
he almost scored a goal
after that pen. He should have scored.
I mean, he should have scored, but he's a fucking center back, so that's why he didn't score.
Exactly. But that fucking pen, dude. I mean, it's
whatever.
Never
they
given.
make it up.
It's never ever given, that pen.
It was given, but they make it up as they go along, kind of deal.
But yeah, Gvard, and then you think Kev starts both? Do Kev and Foden start both?
I do.
2 days off?
I don't. I mean, they have no other games. I think it's the kind of thing where
and they're playing for the title.
Yeah, it's just like, if we wrap it up early, I'll sub them. If one of them breaks, then I have to make do for one game home Western. It's like, it shouldn't be that hard, so I do think he just rides them all, and if someone dies, they die. I mean, it's not like we're resting.
They die. Rocky
we're not resting or managing minutes here with 3 games to go with having to get 9 points. So I probably Kev, Gvard, Haaland would be my 3.
I think that that's like the most logical. That's what, if you're free hitting, that's probably what most people are dialing in. I think, Foden is definitely in the conversation. I think even Rodri, if you want to go there, is in the conversation for someone who's just, 180 minutes, random assist, gets him a double-digit haul like that. And I think Ederson's probably in the mix. There's so few keepers that are even nailed. Like, no nailed keeper at Brighton, no nailed keeper at Newcastle. So, not that many choices left. And they have a very good chance, I'd say, of at least one clean, which I don't know if you can say about the other teams for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So
a lot of picks. So basically, they're just a shit ton of picks.
And it's going to be...
you really just want 3.
You need 3. You really should have 3.
Yeah.
Let's go to keeper. Boltaire said, is Ederson worth shipping out to get Gvardiol as your 3rd City if you have 2 frees? And then Shred said, what are your thoughts on Onana versus Petrovic for 37? They seem to be the best options for doubling keepers.
Yeah, it's changing.
Petrovic is
Petrovic
spitting in our face. He's just spitting in our face.
He heard our critique of him and took it personally.
He really did. We got some unsubscribers probably for
Yeah. I mean, we were a little bit. He individually sucks as a player,
and Bowen hit the crossbar 4 times.
Yeah, so the clean is very fraudulent.
But like, sometimes you're lucky and you have a force field around your head or something. I mean,
recommending Onana though after what we're watching recently feels very disingenuous, right?
I mean, how are Arsenal scoring less than 5?
It's hard.
ask you that. And then Newcastle,
it's hard to imagine.
And how are they scoring less than 3?
Also hard to imagine that.
So get out of here.
I mean, Ederson is the correct answer.
Ederson
is the best goalkeeper.
Definitely the best keeper. But is it worth subtracting a City midfielder from your team is TBD. Based on how we're talking, though, I think we're pretty... We've made more than 4 mentions of midfielders that we like. So maybe it is worth it.
But I think it's more the replacement value aspect of like, how much more do we like Ederson than fucking Onana? Like a lot more. How much more do we like Foden to Gordon? You know, maybe even even-ish. Yeah. So, you know, sometimes that makes our decisions in FPL,
I think,
right?
Yeah, like talking through it, I think Ederson's probably worth it because I think every other keeper's really bad.
Yeah, and Ederson's playing well. We don't know. He's adventurous. He gets injured every game.
Yeah, he might play.
He might play. He might take a play.
Yeah. What about defenders? We got a million questions about who to transfer in. It's
bad, man.
So many people.
Yeah, defenders are bad right now.
Really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's rough out there.
Well, the all-time like most psychotic question we got for the week from D123 in Discord. He said, "Who are the best 3 defenders from City and the best 3 defenders for the run-in overall?" Is he going triple City defender? Is that even possible?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. I think you go Walker, Gavard, and Akanji or Ake, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just... I don't know if it's a wild card or what the situation is, but... you know, I mean, it goes back to replacement value to me, right? I mean, they have 2 games in 37 and they have a banker in 38. So...
Yeah. What's the 38 again?
Yeah, home Western. So, I mean, you want to... If you're trying... Look... It's not as good as home Everton for Arsenal, but if you're trying to swerve and do a thing to like catch someone or whatever, like, you know, I'm there. You know, I'm with you.
It's not the worst punt in the world.
No, I think it's fine, dude.
The thing with like odds is like, I think it's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around like what a double does to the odds of a clean. Like each individual game, City clean is like, you know, less than 50%. You know, they're away games, they're decent teams. Like, it's not great. But combined, that means the chance of at least one clean is like 70% or higher. Like, that's what it does to the odds of a thing happening. Whereas if you compare that to any other doubling team, it's like almost double.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're trying to like free hit, catch lightning in a bottle, fuck Haaland, you know, go differential cap or something like that, because I'm sure everyone will be on Haaland. That might be the way to do it.
Yeah, don't mind it. Don't mind it.
Yeah, but what are there other defenders to talk about? I mean,
they're all terrible. Like, I'm looking at, you know, my Arsenal singles, and I'm just like, rough. This feels better than any doubler.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like literally scrolling.
I don't
through
like
the
any.
doublers
I don't
right
like
now.
any. I don't like any of the doubling defenders.
Other
I
than
prefer
City.
single game makers.
Yeah,
other than
City.
Yeah. Like I prefer an Arsenal defender. I prefer Trent. You know, I mean, I just don't think that there's a pick. I mean, you know, you could. People are stuck with Porro. I still don't think there's a clean there for Spurs. Like I just feel like. You know, that's a mess.
I mean, I guess the point with Porro is you're even without a clean, you're just hoping for an assist in Bones or something like that. Yeah, but like that was Voltaire's question. He said, "Would you rather play an Arsenal defender or Porro?" Which is insane.
It's close. It's insane, really close. It's really close.
It's really close. I think Newcastle have like an okay, clean game. You know, at Old Trafford. I mean, Man United are absolutely fucking terrible.
Yeah, home Brighton, but
home Brighton is decent. You know, like I know they played better against Villa last game, but in the last like 3 months, their attack has been bad.
I just don't see it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out any double.
I know. But I mean, what are we looking at? Another Kraft Burn partnership?
Yeah,
like
probably
Livramento, I mean, Dubravka, Burn, Livermento, Kraft, Hall.
Yeah.
That
sounds like a Hall to me.
That shouldn't clean any team in the flamp, let alone a
Pope was
Premier
on the
League
bench,
team.
so he might play.
Yeah, it's hard
but
for me to imagine
it's not good for the doubling defenders. It's really not. I also, with you, feel very fine with my Arsenal guys. Like, I really do. I mean, someone asked about, like, am I just ignoring
Munoz
Brandt?
is a striker.
Yeah, Munoz is a striker. I don't expect a clean, but
I kind of do. Do you know who they played at striker? A fucking 15-year-old.
Well, yeah, Wang is good. They have guys still.
Is Wang back?
It'll be open. Yeah, he scored. He scored against City.
Oh my god!
But Everton, listen, Brandt, their home chef. Like, that's honestly as good as every doubling non-City defender, I think. Which was someone's question. I forgot who. So it's not good. It's not good for defenders.
I don't agree with your Brandt shot.
Okay.
Yeah,
because Sheffield have been playing
just
well.
All attack. Well, let's not get carried away playing well, but they're attacking
playing well. Yeah,
they've been attacking for 90 minutes every game. So, I don't like that. I don't like
Fair
the
enough.
Brandt thing, but
there's not a lot of defender shouts.
No, there's not.
We got a captaincy question from Joe Wall. She said, "I need to catch up 20 points on my money league leader who will cap Haaland. Who's the best differential cap this week? Palmer, Endot, Isak." Throwing out some names.
Well, who are you on this week? You're on Hall?
Haven't looked yet.
All right. I mean, I have it on
I'm
Kevin.
looking now.
Yeah, I have it on Kevin.
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to captain Haaland at this point. If I didn't captain him last week, I'm not going to captain him this week. Like, he can fuck
you're
off.
Committed.
I'm committed to trying to catch some fucking lightning.
Yeah. I mean, I think Isak is very close. Isak's my vice. I have
Isak's very real. I think Palmer is always a shout, and he was great. He was great again.
I don't love.
With him, I don't care. Maybe with Endot, sure, but like Palmer's just so fucking unbelievably good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go like really rogue, you go for like a Spurs guy or something, right? Or like a Bruno or some shit. But like, how fucking roguey are we going?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go to the extreme end of rogue. You could just pick literally anyone other than Haaland.
Yeah, that's enough, probably.
Yeah. I was thinking too with Kevin, it's just like, how much longer are we going to have Kevin in our lives?
I mean, rumors are he's talking to Saudi already.
Yeah. So I mean, this might be it for him. So.
Euros. You're gonna have to make a Euro fantasy team for Kevin representation.
Kevin plus 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just might not have that much more Kevin left. So I kind of want to just squeeze every Kevin that I can squeeze out of Kevin.
Must be said also, he has a history of mega hauls at the end of the season. Wasn't it last year at the 4-goal game? Or was that 2 years ago?
Yeah. 2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago, okay.
Yeah, and he likes an away. He likes an away day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Kev. Some other questions. Just another free hitter from JB. After a horrifically bad season for me, I'm left with some fun for a game week 37 free hit. I'm only interested in lovable, nostalgic, or sentimental picks that I can convince myself have upside. For example, Antonio Home Luton, Barnes and JG10. I don't even know who JG10 is.
AGO boy?
JG10.
JG? I don't know.
I don't even know who that is. Harvey Barnes. Pick one player each and they'll be in my team. Just wants to pick random fucking punts.
I think João Ladro's a good one.
Yeah, he is a good one. They looked pretty good.
Yeah. At Nuke, home Chelsea. Let's go on.
I'll go Richarlison.
Rich.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Jeff said play Gordon or Nico. Brutal.
It shouldn't
decision.
It shouldn't come to that. I think the question's incorrect. There's someone's being overlooked.
Yeah, but what do we do? Just ignore it?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff asks a million questions.
It's a different Jeff. It's a different Jeff.
Different Jeff. Okay.
Yeah, calm down. You're like a fucking
excited.
bull. Yeah.
I think you bench Gordon. And he's dotting too hard.
Yeah, he's very on fire.
Yeah, I think Gordon.
The difference is, I look at the Newcastle fixtures, and they could legit score 3+ in both games.
Yeah, and it's not the same for Chelsea.
Don't think it's the same for Chelsea. I think that's a big time stretch.
But I agree, but I also see, Gordon's likelihood of involvement is just like nosedive now. With the way, with Callum back.
You think he'll stick with the 2 up top, and Gordon and Murphy wide? Yeah. Maybe,
I mean, why wouldn't he, kind of thing? And I just feel like he's not as relied upon. So, it's
okay.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling Ndot a little bit more. I feel like he's in a rich vein of form, and Gordon's literally just making side passes and falling down in the penalty area.
And corners.
It's not as though he's just been, unrelentingly scoring goals and shit.
Very true. Very true.
So, yeah.
Al said, is Ndot essential? Yes. Brian said, thoughts on moving Son? Well, this is interesting. Thoughts on moving Son to Gallagher to free up money to replace injured defenders? No.
Okay. I don't know about the second half of that question, but
part 2 is bad.
Yeah,
don't get Gallagher.
Part 2 is sus.
The second act is bad. If you show a gun in the first act, you have to shoot the gun in the third act.
But I mean, I don't have any issues with getting rid of Son. Like, if your team's in good shape, and
that's fine.
Because I'm very, very seriously considering getting rid of him.
But but to free up money to replace injured defenders must not be ignored. Who is good enough to even get, who are you getting? Who is a good pick?
You want Regs or something?
And Regs is a fucking unbelievable pick.
Unbelievable pick.
But honestly, I don't think you need money. I'm assuming Brian's bench boosting because most people are bench boosting. But you don't need money to just get someone who's gonna play, which is what the bar should be.
But I think you're looking at the midfielders, right, and saying, I need money. I'm looking at all my attackers, and Son is the worst of all of them, and being very expensive. That I can get someone who's at least just as good for the next few games.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it on live stream. Brian, a legendary live streamer. So, Voltaire said, "Do I play Kai or Son?" Speaking of Son,
I mean, I don't even know what to do with this shit, dude. Like the narrow question without seeing the context is very difficult. Hard.
It's so hard. Well, Voltaire will also be on the live stream, right?
Yeah, so he's Voltaire. We'll if we take him on merit, that those are the 2 worst attackers, I don't think you can bench Son for 1 game. I would start Son, as much as it pains me to say. I just think 2 tickets to punch versus 1, even though the team's bad and he looks bad.
And one of them's home Burnley. We can't forget that one of them's home Burnley.
Yeah, it is. And that could be all that the doctor ordered for them, where, they look good in the last 20 minutes. They have something to build on. They could blow Burnley away and score 5.
I think you're right. It's too much. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. And Son has the previous against City.
He has pens, he has worldies. It's enough. Yeah, it's enough.
It's enough.
The rest is just some lifestyle questions. I think we'll save our teams for Thursday pod.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
So, lifestyle. EB said, who is your favorite player in your time watching the Prem who did not play for your club? That's really hard to just come up with on the fucking spot like that, man. I mean, maybe it's not hard for you. Because you have Tadic in the league.
Well, Ozil.
You have Ozil, Tadic. All your favorite players are not from your team.
None of my favorite players.
Literally none.
Yeah, those are the 3: Kun, Ozil, and Tadic.
Good. I mean, it's a good list. I gotta say, it's a good list.
It's a good list. What about
you? Do you have any for me? I mean, who did I
feel like you don't you don't get emotionally wrapped up in players like I do.
I do. They just mostly play for Liverpool.
Yeah, that's like fucking Timo. You like get pervertedly. You get like erect a fucking tower that you just occupy by yourself because common discourse is against something. And you see a shred and you will stand there forever.
100%. Nico, I'm a lifer.
Yeah, and I'm
a
Timo,
lifer.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone. I just don't. There's no one that pops in my head that's just like, oh, dude, that guy. But
Kevin for me too. I forgot.
Yeah, I know
Holy
Kevin.
shit,
For you,
how could I forget Kevin?
It definitely exists. It exists for me. I just can't think of it on the spot.
I feel like you are more like ADD with your like fluttering from players too, where you don't spend too much time on specific players.
Yeah, it's
where
possible.
You'll have like a month where you're talking about fucking like someone in Germany or something.
Graziano Pele, yeah,
and then you're like, oh, like new guy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm just polyamorous, I guess. And Thunshot said, oh man, big question from Thunny here. He said, since you're not potting about footy this summer, can Patreons please get those Harry Potter pods you've been teasing us for years about? Should we do it?
I kind of forgot.
I've never seen any of the movies and I've never read any of the books. So the point was like, I was going to watch. Yeah, I've literally zero interest unless it's, for profit. I'll sell out and watch this fucking wizard movie. But
what about your girlfriend? No big deal. You have a girlfriend?
I would guess
normal.
Seeing all of them.
You would guess? You don't even know?
Well, she's a girl. I mean,
is she awake?
No, not awake. What is it? It's 12:09. She might be awake. She might be on her phone.
Just
Let me text her right now.
No, go check. No,
I'm not getting up, dude. Come on.
Oh my god.
Have you seen Harry
It's not
Potter?
if it's a girl or a boy. Is she a normal person or is she a fucking weirdo sheltered like a lawn person?
Shelter, because I haven't seen the children's wizard movie. Yes. But anyway, do you want to do it or no? That's the question.
I mean, obviously I want to do it. What are you talking about?
So maybe we'll do it then. Why not?
You're the fucking slowest runner on this one, baby.
I'll do it for profit, I said, which means I'll do it. I'll do it for the Patreons. How do we do it? Do you want me to read the books and then watch each movie?
Fuck the books, dude. That's not possible.
Too much.
Those are thousands of pages of books.
Oh, God,
you're not going to be able to do that in a month period.
I'll watch the movies. So what are we going to do? Movie by at one pod per movie?
I think it's a live watch movie together.
That's intense.
That's what we do for this
So
one.
we do live stream, record it, and then post the video or something like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Down.
All right.
Yeah. We look out this summer. Patreon subscribers.
No summer off, I guess.
Yeah, there it goes. I'll be traveling and shit, but there's always time to sneak in a little
app.
And then I really don't like this question from Sides. He said, if you won FPL, where are you going to eat to celebrate and what are you getting? How would you actually celebrate? What do you think you would do?
I wouldn't do anything. What are you talking about? What would I do? I wouldn't do fucking it.
I would tweet like I'm the fucking best, and then that would be the end of it.
Yeah, I would still not have Twitter, and I would go to bed, and I would wake up, and everything would be the same.
We would exchange a DM or something. I'd be like, "Holy, I can't believe you won it," and you'd be like,
I'd be like,
and you'd probably be like, "Easy."
Yeah, I'd be like, easy game. Like Kevin,
easy game.
blah, blah,
obviously,
blah, blah,
Captain
whatever.
Mateta. Yeah, there would not be some sort of grand celebration that Sides is imagining.
No, don't get ahead of yourself here.
And then that's it, dude.
We have a lot of action later in the week.
Oh, dude, Thursday pod's gonna be 2 hours long, and live stream's gonna be 2 hours long.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a huge week.
I'm ready.
Two more.
I'm very confused.
Oh, what'd you say?
I'm very confused about what to do with my team.
Me too. Speaking of how bad defenders are, I have 2 red flag defenders and I'm bench boosting. So I need to do that.
Get defenders.
It's horrible. Couple more anus slaps, couple more signups. Speaking of Patreon, Ben, Moxman, David, Mergius. Yes, baby, get in there. Any last words, dude?
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL. Support us. Be /FMLFPL. Subscribe, rate, review.